Hey, how's it going? I'm going to do my February wrap-up. It wasn't a terribly busy month. I read 3 books. I suppose that's alright, isn't it? So, first up is one, if you're watching the channel, you'll already have seen, because I made a vlog about it. Fool's Fate. Excellent, excellent book. 5 stars all around. It's the 3rd book in the Tawny Man trilogy, and it's the 9th book in the Realm of the Elderlings series by Robin Hobb. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this one. I think it's better than the Farseer trilogy. Perhaps, yeah. I read it with a buddy on Booktube, a friend of mine called Ray, so I'll link to her channel below. We both enjoyed it. It's the first time I've done a buddy read like that online, and yeah, it was a very enjoyable experience actually. Sharing chats, video chats, audio chats over WhatsApp, text chats, and sharing thoughts and ideas, and of course vlogging it as I went, which was kind of fun as well. Driving the van and chatting into the camera as I was driving and stuff like that. So yeah, for content as well, it was fun. So I'm looking forward to reading the Dragon Quadrology, what do you call that? Tetralogy? Dragon Haven? What's it called? Rainwild Chronicles. But not this month, not March. I'm taking a break from Hobb because I'm busy, you know what I mean? The second book that I read was an audiobook, so I don't have it here to show you. It was Wilbur Smith, The Eye of the Tiger, which was written in 1975. It was the first audiobook that I ever listened to back when I was about 14, cycling about my hometown, delivering papers in the morning. So I'd got them out the local library as cassettes. In fact, I think my dad had got them out, and then I'd borrowed them from him to listen to on my paper round. Loved it back then, and I wanted something easy to listen to for driving, because I'm doing a lot of that at the moment, and I figured since it was something I'd read before, I knew it was a good thrilling adventure story, so I downloaded it. And it was a thrilling adventure story, and some of it I listened to in the middle of the night, because sometimes that happens and I wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, so I stick my AirPods in and listen to some story, and yeah, it was good for that as well. What I will say though, I found it quite misogynistic, and this is interesting for me because it's not generally something I would have picked up on back in my younger days, and now I mean, it's as plain as day, some of it. Like, for example, there's a scene where Harry Fletcher, the main character, he's in hospital. He's been beaten up quite badly. And he's on the mend, and he wakes up with an erection. And the nurse who's looking after him says, "Oh, Mr. Harry, you're obviously feeling better." And he said, "Yeah, it would be a shame to waste this, wouldn't it?" And she says, "Oh, Harry." And then it's kind of insinuated that, you know, she doesn't waste it. And I was just like, what am I reading here? That was the most egregious example, but there were plenty of other ones. So women are not portrayed well at all in this book. And of course it's set in Africa, so we've got a lot of blacks and whites going on as well. So it doesn't age well, I have to say. I wonder if River Gods has aged well, because that was the other Wilbur Smith book I read when I was a younger man and remember enjoying, so I'm curious about that. So that was The Eye of the Tiger. The last one, The Glutton by A.K. Blakemore. This was a recommendation on my anniversary video, and it was recommended by The Mild Rumpus, who's a booktuber that I really enjoy watching. This is a very dark book. It's set during the French Revolution, and it follows the main character, Tarar, who, I don't know how much to give away. In fact, I shan't give much away. All I'll say is that he's known as the bottomless man, and he eats everything. He's got a voracious appetite that's insatiable, and it leads to some interesting scenes. It's very, very well written. It's ℂ𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟𝕟𝕟 a poet, and the language that she uses is quite poetic. In fact, where's my notebook? I've got some notes here, stuff that I wrote down. It's not much, but things that stood out to me. And there's one example that I can think of about a lake. Right, yes, the dirty grey water of the river banquets on itself below him. And just the idea of dirty grey water banqueting on itself, I just found that quite interesting. And then there's a bit about birdsong, and it's talking of the beauty, and you know, that's something that I love birdsong. Where I live, I can open the windows in the morning and sit with my book and listen to the birdsong coming in the window. And this has kind of spoiled it for me. It says, there is no beauty in their song, no divinity in it. They rain down their poison and we smile like fools. So there's more to it. It goes on to describe how birds are actually yelling at each other and screaming at each other. They're not actually singing. So, yeah, interesting. I read it fast. I got to about halfway through yesterday, and I ended up reading the whole second half yesterday in a single day. It's a very fast-moving book and very enjoyable, very dark, and I ended up giving it 4 stars because I just found it compelling and enjoyable and like nothing I've ever read before. Although, yeah, I say that, there was a bit where he's in the army and he's dealing with his superiors, and it reminded me of Catch-22 a little bit. So I don't know if anyone else would get that from it, but that's what came into my head. Saying that, it's a long time since I read Catch-22, so, you know, I may be off the barking up the wrong tree with that. So that's what I read. I'm going to talk about these 2 books because I actually just checked them off as DNFs. I've been struggling with them. I wanted to read Dominion by Tom Holland and Catherine the Great and Potemkin by Simon Sebag Montefiore as part of Historathon 2025. I want to read more history, but honestly, I'm just struggling with them. So I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to DNF these. It just came to me today, and so I did. And I did it with another one as well, which is A Short History of Liberalism. Is that the name of it? Where's my little notebook? The Lost History of Liberalism, which was another Historathon 2025 book. It's actually being read on the Discord at the moment, and I was listening to it today when I went out with the dog, and I got about 5 minutes through it. I mean, I'm more than halfway through the book, but I listened to it for 5 minutes today, and I was like, I don't know anything that's happened up to this point, and I don't know what's happened in the last 5 minutes I've just listened to. This is not working. So I turned it off and put on some Tears for Fears. So yeah, it's generally not something I do, DNFing books. And I think it's time. I think now that I'm making content about books and I've got, you know, it's such a big part of my life now, I need to make way for things. If something's not gelling or vibing, then, you know, off it goes. So that's what happened today. I DNF'd 3 books at the end of February, which means I've got some space going into March, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's me. Hope you all had a good reading month, and I'll see you again next month. Cheers, bye.